I've taken a mental health day today because of the Kardashian divorce.
In modern sheep America, yes.
So I'm not handling it well. It's come as such a shock to me that finding it difficult to concentrate today. Welcome to the Armstrong and Getty Show.
Yes, indeed. Glad you're here, even in the wake of America's latest tragedy, the Kardashian divorce. The folks at RepealSMART have been hitting us with emails for quite some time. Very respectful, very smart, ironically, trying to alert us to this complete joke of a government ripoff that's going on in Northern California. And Clay Mitchell joins us on the Armstrong and Getty Show. Clay's with RepealSMART.org. Hey, Clay, how are you?
I'm doing fine. I'm soldiering through this tragedy with the Kardashians, but doing the best I can.
You're a brave little man, Clay.
That's what it's about. Just put one foot in front of the other, and we'll all get through it.
So, Clay, let's start at the beginning, because I know y'all are intimately acquainted with SMART, what it is and what's going on. But start at the beginning for the folks. What should we know?
I'll give you the Cliff Notes version. So back in 2002, the California legislature formed a special district called SMART, and surprise. And SMART stands for the Sonoma Marin Area Rail Transit District. And basically their job was to come up with a light rail system to serve Sonoma and Marin counties. And so they tried to get a local sales tax to fund the project, and it failed to pass in 2006, but it passed in 2008. Between the two counties, which is the district. And what they outlined was a project that would connect the northern end of Sonoma County down to Larkspur by the Golden Gate, not quite to the Golden Gate, about 70 miles, 14 stations, and would also have a bike and walking trail that would run the entire length.
Whoa, 70 miles is a long track of light rail.
But I've heard that mass transit's a great idea. That sounds like a lovely plan. They came up with it. They built it. So are you enjoying riding
And
on
I'm
it?
very green, so it seems like a great idea.
Yeah, bike trails as well. How can you possibly be against this, you fascist?
I know. Well, I'm a moronic Luddite, or so I've been told. So I'm doing the best I can. The problem is it hasn't been built yet, and about 2 years later, they informed us that they weren't going to be able to build it for the $541 million price tag that was originally attached, but actually it was going to cost at least $695 million. So we're up almost 30% on the costs in a time when interest rates are down, labor costs are down, real estate costs are down. And so that's when I started getting involved, saying, hey, what's the deal here? And started asking questions. And I was basically told, I didn't see the vision. and I like to think it's more of a hallucination, but that's what got me involved. And so I got a buddy down in Marin, John Parnell, had started this little group, and we got together and said, hey, let's see if we can ask for some better accountability from the folks who are putting this thing together.
So you guys you did not immediately scream, stop it, tear it down. You just want a little transparency and accountability.
No, in fact, both of us, both myself and John, who are the kind of the leaders of our little grassroots organization, we both voted for it. Given the numbers that they were given, that they presented to us, we said this sounds like a benefit to the community. I mean, I'm a limited government type of guy, but I saw that what looked like something that was good for the local community, and as it went forward, it just looked more and more like a train wreck,
so to speak.
Or not. Or not, so to speak. Just a train wrecking.
Right. So I know there are a couple of good, solid examples of what's been going sideways with SMART. Why don't we start with the latest thing, and that's the there's going to be some sort of vote, isn't there, about repeal there's an unnatural, incestuous collusion going on between SMART and some state legislators. Tell us about it.
Well, so basically, the SMART board of directors is made up of county supervisors and city council people from throughout the two-county area, and they're not elected to that position. They're appointed from among their peers, and so there's no direct accountability to the voters. If we don't like what they're doing, they can't be voted out of office. Their own constituents could vote them out or recall them. So when we felt like we weren't getting any response, we put together an initiative, and we're circulating petitions right now to get an initiative on the ballot to basically take away their allowance, to take away this quarter-cent sales tax that's funding about 80% of the project until they can get their act together and give us a plan that's fully funded that's going to give us what they promised. Because right now they've had to cut the project down almost in half. And they said, well, we don't have the money for the whole thing, so we're going to build half of it first, and then as money's available, we're going to build the rest. Well, you know how that goes. There's not any money available. They're going to have to come back to us for more taxes.
Well, and the whole point is we're finding out with the bullet train and lots of projects is you just want to get some of it built so you can go to people and say, look, we've already spent this much money. It'd be stupid to not finish it. That's the whole angle.
So you can keep the hundreds of millions of dollars flowing through you in perpetuity, probably. So at this point, the cost is up a third. The project has been cut in half. I understand they've been radically revising their ridership estimates downward as well, right?
Yeah, we're sitting about. I mean, just as a point of reference, you know, the whole system right now is their numbers estimated to carry somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,500 people a day. And when you compare that, there are about 70,000 people that cross the Sonoma-Marin County line, or 70,000 cars that cross that line each direction every day.
Whoa!
And so you're talking about maybe taking 1% of the cars off the road for $500 million in construction.
That's the problem with all these train plans. Like you voted for it. Did you vote for it thinking you might write it? It seems to me that so many people vote for it thinking there must be other people that would love this. I'm not going to do it.
I've heard lots of people use public transit.
It wouldn't work for me, but maybe other people would like it.
I think that's a fairly common. Everyone has this vision of everyone else riding the train and them sailing smoothly down the highway.
Yeah, I think that's it too. Whenever I hear about mass transit, I always think that'd be great. More people will get off the road so I can continue to drive.
Yeah, almost 1%. Wouldn't that be lovely?
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, Clay Mitchell with RepealSMART is on the line. I'm clutching in my greasy mitts a newspaper article from Marin County that I've been holding on to since September about Marin County Public Works Director Farad Mansourian, the new general manager of SMART, the Sonoma-Marin Area Rail Transit District, who appears to be making $488,000.
Yeah, it's not. It's combined compensation. So that's a combination of he retired from the county of Marin to take this job, and so he's pulling a fairly nice pension from there.
$148,000 guaranteed annual pension for life. $148,000 folks.
Who gets that? Who anywhere?
And for the life of his surviving spouse, all adjusted annually for inflation.
You're effing kidding me.
I am not.
Who gets a deal like that anywhere? And that line of crap of, well, that's what you've got to pay to get somebody to do this job is such a bunch of, oh my God.
Yeah, well, and SMART, I mean, they have 17 employees right now. They're growing quickly, spending our money as quickly as they can. But compare that to the new director of BART down in the Bay Area, making about the same. But, you know, that's an organization that actually runs something.
God, we pay these people way too much.
By the way, let me finish it with this guy who's making $148K guaranteed annual pension for life and the life of his spouse plus inflation. His SMART salary now is $247,000, which is 40% more than his predecessor was making. Add to that $36,009 in tax-deferred compensation, plus $11,000 annually for car and telephone allowances, because he can't possibly afford that at $480K, and his health plan, and $13,008 annual in cash for medical copays. That's on top of lifetime medical insurance all county retirees receive.
Hey,
why won't you consider higher taxes?
Hey, Occupy protesters, chant about that. Jeez, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, well, and I don't begrudge the guy taking the best deal he can.
No, I don't either. I wouldn't turn it down.
Yeah, what I have an issue is with the board, who's supposed to represent us taxpayers and make sure this compensation's reasonable.
They don't care because it's not their money. That's the problem with all of these things. It's not their money.
Crap.
If I'm negotiating a salary for Scott, what the hell do I care how much Scott gets?
Boy, I thought I was done. He'll also get $32K annually from CalPERS. Oh my God. Oh,
yeah.
my God.
Wow. God, we get stolen from all the time. And this is to manage a nonsensical light rail system.
Right, that maybe 1% of people will take.
Yeah.
You know, Clay, it seems to us that when you look at the bullet train abortion, the catastrophe that's a bullet train, plus this, it would seem that rail may be the great siphon, the great theft, the great boondoggle of our time.
You called yourself a Luddite. I don't think you're a Luddite because you think the main transportation of 100 years ago is not a good idea anymore.
Well, there certainly have been some advances that have been made, but you're absolutely
fewer
right.
Indians attack you, for instance.
Well, we hear a lot of times from people who oppose what we're trying to do that they say, even every third world country has trains, and I say, most third world countries only have trains.
Well, and there is this
they're
weird
100 years behind.
there's a quasi-religious affection for train travel that's based on no solid numbers. Good God. All right, Clay, listen, if people want to get behind you and quit this absolute armed robbery of taxpayers, how can they get involved?
So we got a website. It's just RepealSMART.org, and we're on Facebook as well at Facebook.com/StopSmart. And basically, we're circulating petitions right now. If we can get enough signatures, we'll get this initiative on the ballot. Take it back to the people and just say, hey, project isn't what they originally presented. It's the people paying for it. Let's have a vote and see if they still support it.
I tell you what, bring down the hammer on this dude making all that money, because that's kind of a really ripe symbol right now.
Yeah, people are not feeling good about those sorts of stories. Call us whenever you need us.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
And listen, we've got a link to Clay and Repeal Smart at ArmstrongandGettyRadio.com, ArmstrongandGettyRadio.com. Clay, well done. We'll talk again soon, all right?
Joe Jack, thank you very much.
Go get him.
One thing that hasn't changed in 130 years with train travel is there's still armed bandits. It's just that it's the people building the trains.
The
train tracks.
God.
Well, I think we got to one of the core issues with the whole idea of mass transportation is that everybody is thinking about it as an idea for other people. Because driving in your car is so freaking great.
Oh, yeah.
You're in your own car with your own stuff. All your stuff is with you everywhere you go. At lunch or after work, you can go somewhere else. You're not restricted to whenever you want. You're not restricted to a timetable or where you go.
Right.
It's just so awesome to drive in your own car. And that's why it's got to be much, 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 much better than driving your car, and nothing ever is.
Well, Chris Reed from the San Diego Union Tribune, who we talked to yesterday, made the point. He made it very briefly as we were wrapping up the conversation, but he's 100% right. If you want public transit that works, buy buses. They don't need a freaking rail. They can go anywhere you decide they ought to go, so people all over your area can jump on a bus reasonably close to their home. Rail is a joke. It's not profitable anywhere on earth. If you've got like 40% of your population has got a sub-kindergarten education and is starving, rail travel works, because otherwise they got to walk.
Yeah, they got no roads, they got no cars.
Got no shoes.
Stay here. Any comment, 1-866-331-TALK. You're listening to the Armstrong and Getty Show.